Aging is an extraordinary process whereby you become the person you always should have been. Welcome. I'll be right back with a poem and some context on that quote. This is Meet Me in the Morning Coffee, and a poem, Feed Your Midlife Heart and Soul with Austin James Haynes. I'll be right back. Good, glorious morning, everyone. I'm excited and happy to be here with you today. I was looking forward to this. I woke up like 3:30 in the morning and 4. My wheels were turning, and I'm thinking about beginning and anew. And let me go back to that quote that I started with. Aging is an extraordinary process whereby you become the person you always believed you should have been. That quote came from David Bowie, the famous musician, Ziggy Stardust, change it, turn and face the strain, change. You know the song, some of you do. And that's a great quote, really resonates with a lot of people, especially if you're getting older and you're realizing it. Well, it's an opportunity. So I wanted to share that quote with you. I'm going to get right into the poem. For those of you that are starting your day, I want to get right into it. For those of you that have a little bit more time, we can hang out. Let's see what we can draw. Let's see if we can start our day right, because maybe you didn't start the day right. Maybe your mind was starting to kick up and telling you all the things that are wrong with you. But let's see what's right today. And let's talk about new beginnings. Let's go to a poem that was written in the late 19th / earliest 20th century by a man named George Marion McClellan. And this is called A Psyche of Spring. A Psyche of Spring. If you like this, tap that screen. Let me know that you're there. And please type in the comments. If you're joining this morning, I'm going to give you a shout out for being here, because committing to inspiration is easy to do, but hard to do. But I kind of say it's like bathing. If you don't do it, things begin to stink, so make it a point to add this or some other program to your inspirational routine. A Psyche of Spring. Thou gaily painted butterfly, exquisite thing, a child of light and blending rainbow hues, in loveliness, a psyche of the spring, companion for the rose and diamond dews. 'Tis thine in sportive joy from hour to hour, to ride the breeze from flower to flower. But thou wast once a worm of hueless dye. Now, seeing thee gay thing afloat in bliss, I take new hope in thoughts of by and by. When I, as thou, have shed my chrysalis, I dream now of eternal springs of light, in which, as thou, I too may take flight. That's a poem that's in the public domain. It's got some great visuals. You can hear some of the old language in it with 'tis thine, but thou, these old English words, which I really like to use them on occasion, because it adds something to the poem. But in this poem, it's a simple poem, but it's got great visuals in it to evoke newness, diamond dews, to ride the breeze, flower to flower, and the butterfly shedding the chrysalis. It's the age-old metaphor of new beginnings, and maybe there's a new beginning for you. So I have a couple more to share with you. For those of you that were joining, thanks for being here. I shared the quote from David Bowie: "Aging is an extraordinary process, whereby you become the person you always should have been." My name's Austin James Haynes, 19-year employee to poet. You can go over to YouTube to hear the rest of that story and see how you can take advantage of the Midlife Oasis tour that's coming this year. I'm going to be traveling the world and taking the show on the road, if you will. That's going to be a great opportunity to connect with many folks. So here we go. Let me share this other poem, which I got two more for you. They're short, though. This is another great poem. And I would think these two poems were sparked from the civil rights. Both of these gentlemen are African American. So these poems were kind of sparked, from a deep place using visuals. And good morning, Wendy. Thank you for your support as always. Just getting on there and clicking that screen is huge. I really appreciate it. But also I want to make sure you're getting value from this. Like, that is what I care about. So if you're getting value, let me know that. It's really important. I want to know. And feedback is always welcome. The change has come. Paul Laurence Dunbar, 1872 to 1906. The change has come, and Helen sleeps. Not sleeps, but wakes to greater deeps of wisdom, glory, truth, and light. Then ever blessed her seeking sight in this low, long, lethargic night, worn out with strife, which men call life. The change has come, and who would say, I would it were not come today? What were the respite till tomorrow? Postponement of a certain sorrow, from which each passing day would borrow. Let grief be dumb. The change has come. That is another powerful quote. Paul Laurence Dunbar, born in 1872 and the author of numerous collections of poetry and prose, was one of the first African-American poets to gain national recognition. And those words come from a deep place, but you hear this sense of the chrysalis in the previous poem. And this one, he says, in this low, long, lethargic night, worn out with strife, which men call life. Life, not life, right? We are striving for greater things in our lives. We don't know how to get there. We have been conditioned to think that the struggle shouldn't be happening. We have been conditioned to resist and try to find the easy way. But the easy way, often becomes the more difficult way. It seems easy early and harder late. When we do it the right way, it's hard earlier and easier later, and we become liberated and we become free. And who doesn't want that feeling of freedom? I have more for you, because this one was a delayed poem that probably would have been better shared on Easter, but it's dated today in this book by Coleman Barks, A Year with Rumi. So this is poem number 3. And if you're just joining, I started this off with aging is an extraordinary process whereby you become the person you always should have been. And I want to invite you to go over to the YouTube channel at Austin James Haynes. You can hear the rest of my story and see all this content. All right, here we go. This is the poem for today in this book. It's called On Resurrection Day. On Resurrection Day, your body testifies against you. Your hands say, I stole money. Your lips, I said meanness. Your feet, I went where I shouldn't. Your genitals, me too. They will make your praying sound hypocritical. Let the bodies doing speak openly now without your saying a word. As students walking behind a teacher says, this one knows more clearly than I the way. This poem is really deep, but I'm going to get into it for you. Number one, it says, on resurrection day, your body testifies against you. So let's go back to I just realized I'm all out of sorts here. If we go back to the previous poem, the spring has come. He says, I dream now of eternal springs of light, in which, as thou, I too may have take flight. And the other one, he says, let grief be dumb, the change has come. But this one is basically saying that your change may be upon you, but you're recounting all the reasons why you may not feel worthy, or all the reasons that you cannot move forward. Your hand says, I stole money. Your lips, I said meanness. Your feet, I went where I shouldn't. Your genitals, me too. Think about that. That means that we are all flawed. We are all just not worthy in some way. But, and this speaks to Easter, the resurrection, but in some way we become complete. But you need to be ready to receive, because if you do not, you will tell yourself a story on why you don't deserve it. I wonder how many people have lived and told themselves that they didn't deserve it when they did. And basically he's saying, let the bodies doing speak openly now without your saying a word. And I think what this is saying is trust the inner knowing that transcends the works. It's transcendent. Will you be open to receive? Will you be open to receive? Especially you who have tarried ceaselessly, persistently, faithfully, with loyal. You've stayed committed. You've dealt with adversity. You've weathered the storms. Will you open yourself up to receive? Type in yes if you are open to receiving. And here's the great thing. As you receiveth, so shall you giveth. And it's in the giving that you truly receive. It's a beautiful, synergistic flow. And it just keeps flowing. But you need to be open. You need to forgive yourself. You need to let it go. The things of the past need to be let go. The butterfly doesn't hover around the chrysalis once it's broken free. The chrysalis causes resistance, but the chrysalis provides the struggle that the butterfly needs to develop the wings. But once the butterfly breaks free from the chrysalis, the butterfly does not stay around the chrysalis. The butterfly begins to flap its wings in color And it gave birth to this poem right here when he says, "Thou gaily painted butterfly, exquisite thing, a child of light and blending rainbow hues, in loveliness, a psyche of spring. Companion for the rose and diamond dews, 'tis thine in sportive joy from hour to hour to ride the breeze, flower to flower. But oh, let us not forget the struggle. We let go, but we remember that, but thou wast once a worm of hueless dye, now seeing thee, gay thing, afloat in bliss. I take new hope in thoughts of by and by, when I, as thou, have shed my chrysalis. I dream now of eternal springs of light, in which, as thou, I too may take flight." You know, that poem is beautiful, but it goes back to, you see how it's all connected. Okay, I'm going to answer that question. How would you deal with a rude coworker? But first, I'm going to exit this live stream that went out today. So God bless everyone. My name's Austin James Haynes, 19-year employee. I was in sales management, quit in the middle of my best year, and through a weird series of events have become a poet. The full story is on my YouTube channel. Go there to check that out. And I'll be back with you tomorrow. And always send me a message. Let me know that you're getting this. Let me know that this is feeding your heart and soul. Because right now, some of you may have a cluttered heart and soul full of debris, and we need to clear it out. We need to clear it out. So this live stream is ending. TikTok, stay with me. I'm going to answer that question. How do you deal with a rude coworker? And maybe I'll put that up on YouTube so you can check it out there. God bless everybody. Open up for spring. We have a cleansing rain here. Maybe I'll do a poem on that tomorrow. And just take time today to pause and breathe throughout the day. Recognize the overstimulation and carve out some time. I'll see you tomorrow.